All right, we are all the way live with Gigi Ashworth. I'm Idalis. This is Let's Talk on Camera. Conversations with me. Hello, Gigi.
Hi.
Well, we were trying. It's been really amazing. I haven't checked my sound, so hopefully the sound is working. Normally I check it every time, but looks like we're good here on this side of things. Hopefully we're good on the other side of things because you don't want to do a whole interview and not be good. Let me just
Oh,
check
that
for a quick
happened to me before.
sound. Oh
So
yeah, we're on. We're not on air. Hold on. We're good. We're good on sound. Okay. So you don't want to do a whole interview and not be good on sound. Hello, everyone. Hello, Gigi.
hi.
This is Let's Talk on Camera. We interview all kinds of people who are in the front lines of entertainment, hospitality, and all good things in life. Gigi is a food. I was going to call you like a foodie, a food expert, and I was going to call you a food journalist, broadcaster. But then I saw one of your bios, and it said food and wellness influencer. And I think that really is what you are in a way.
I mean, the funny thing is I kind of hate the word influencer just because I feel like it's a dime a dozen these days.
It's so 2017,
Like
2015.
everybody's an influencer. It's like you go to the grocery store and there's some grandma there and she's like, "Hey, those cookies are really good," and you buy them. So hey, she's an influencer. For me personally, I kind of just call myself a food personality, or everybody seems to know me as the salmon queen. So I just kind of go with that. And I'm like, all right, you guys can figure out what I am from there if you decide to keep following along.
Yes. And so, AKA the Salmon Queen. How did that one come up? And I'm going to go into introducing you in a second. But how did the Salmon Queen
Yeah,
moniker
I
come
mean,
up?
it's kind of a long story, but for the last 20 years of my life, I've just been eating a whole bunch of salmon because salmon makes me feel really good. I have a lot of food allergies and intolerances and autoimmune diseases. And one food that I know will make me feel like $1,000,000 every single time I eat it is salmon. So I've just sort of gravitated towards that fish every single day of my life. And then in the past 10 years, I have gotten to this point where I eat it every single day, a couple of times a day. And then some people were like, "How much salmon do you eat a week?" So I actually calculated it one week and I eat about 10 plus pounds of salmon a week. So
Wow.
someone dubbed me like the salmon queen maybe like 10 years ago and just kind of stuck.
Well,
Um,
I love salmon too, and I know there's a lot of salmon lovers watching right now. I mean, I think it's a perfect food because it's so it's so nutritious and it
yeah.
has so many good properties in it, and we'll get into that in a second. But let me introduce this beauty queen right here. Let's add this. This
Oh,
is
look at
Gigi,
that hottie right there.
formerly Gigi Dubois, because you got married. Now your name is Ashworth, right? Gigi Ashworth.
Yeah.
And she was a former client. We started our humble beginnings here with me at the studio, and we did your YouTube channel. It was at the time, I think 2013 or something like that, or 14.
Yeah, 2012 is when we first met. 2013
Okay.
is when we like put out the first episode or whatever.
Like Gigi Eats Celebrities just came
Yeah,
up with like kind of a title and a thing for your thing. And we were doing kind of celebrity diets, which are so insane and ridiculous.
they
And
were. I feel like these days they're not really a thing anymore, but they were back then, that's for sure.
oh yeah, well, celebrity diets are not as much. Yeah, they were then, right? Remember, they were so much. There was so many diets.
Yeah, it was really weird.
Yeah. So cut to releasing your latest book, Seduced by Salmon. I'm sorry, they cut off the. I don't know if we're cutting off the thing.
Yeah, the first part,
My
but
cut and paste there with StreamYard is not that great. StreamYard, fix that. Um, So it's called Seduced by Salmon, as you can see the cover there. That's your latest book, and you self-published.
yes.
Exciting.
Yep.
Her, what is that?
No, I just said yeah.
And your book before that was She Does Keto, which did very well. And I love the cover of this, and I love your new book as well. Want to talk about the experiences of this was a published book. You did this with a publisher.
Yes.
Want to talk about the experiences of publisher, not publisher. Um, so what is your experience as opposed to doing that book and doing the other book now? Like your new book is, if you guys go get it now, it's on Amazon. It's called Seduced by Salmon. How many recipes are in here?
69. Ooh.
69, Gigi?
Yes. There's a theme to this book, you know, seduction, 69.
Oh, I love that. That's great.
So if you don't have a dirty mind, then you won't get it. But
yeah, sorry for all the people out there that don't have dirty
dad literally was like, why 69? I was like, we're not gonna get into that, Dad. But thanks for asking.
Yes. She does keto. Not the best picture, but this is one of your tostadas, one of the recipes that you're really known for because you went on Master Chef, right?
Yes, I did.
You were on Master Chef.
I did. That was quite an experience, but I'm not sure what you would like for me to talk about first. Would you like for me to talk about the books or Master Chef? Because
let's open with Master Chef because I know that was post your when was Master Chef was just this year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was this year.
You did that Master Chef. So did they find you through the books or did they find you online or through your YouTube channel?
They found me on Instagram. I remember last year in like October, so around this time, I was walking into a Smoothie King with my husband because I have this weird photographic memory, and I got an email, and it said, "Hey, found you on Instagram. Would like to talk to you about possibly being on MasterChef." And I actually had a friend who's been on MasterChef twice. He was in 2 seasons. And the second season that he was in, he actually was runner-up. And I was like, ooh, I don't know about that because I'm not, you know, I have a lot of food allergies and intolerances and all that kind of stuff. So I can't really eat a whole bunch of stuff. So like the thought of me cooking or baking a cake or whatever, I'm like, I can't do that. Or I could, but I would have to literally memorize the portions and proportions and all that kind of stuff before going to the show because it's all science when it comes to baking. So anyway, I emailed them back and I was like, why not? Let's open this conversation. And I gave them my phone number and they called me immediately. And I was like, okay, cool. So then after they called me, I filled out the application like you're supposed to. I filmed a tiny little video and I sent it in. And literally within 10 minutes, I got another phone call being like, well, we need to schedule a Skype call with you. So then I went through that rigmarole. And then after that, they wanted all the videos and pictures up the wazoo. So I just went through that whole process. And by
did an onboarding process of getting on the show because they check your background and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, by mid-December, I got an email saying we are going to fly you out to Los Angeles to be on MasterChef. But when you get there,
so awesome. They flew you out?
Yeah, but when you get there, you're one of 80 people. And then when you're there, they cut it down to 40 people. And then 40 people audition live on television.
Oh.
And then they cut it to 20 people.
What? So you went through the 40?
Yeah. So I went from the 80 to the 40. And then I did my live audition on TV. And then I didn't make the top 20. But the reason behind that was because, I'm not going to lie, never really watched MasterChef.
I haven't really either. I mean,
Landon, my husband, was like, you really need to be like watching and taking notes and blah, blah, blah. And I was like,
whoa.
Honestly, that would really see what happens.
You're a wing it girl.
I'm very much a wing it girl.
And you know how I feel about winging it. But sometimes you do. Like today, I kind of had to wing some of the notes and stuff like that we had.
Yeah, I like to just wing it because otherwise I feel like I would just get really stressed out, and I'm kind of like a stress-free zone.
Yeah, and winging it also makes you just be present. Although, I mean, as a former broadcaster, it's all about preparation in my world. But sometimes you do have to just wing it. Sometimes it's, you know, an interview or something. It's like a breaking story. You kind of have to just go with it. One of the good things about winging it, and I know as an actress, is the main thing of being on camera is being present.
Yeah. And I was super
present. You to be really present.
Yeah, so I mean, when I got there and we had to be on stage and we had to be alive, like the nice thing about me is when I'm in front of a camera, like I'm on, I'm ready to go. If you don't recall, Idalis, I was always like, woo, 150% in front of the camera. But so that really helped. So when I was cooking, I was not stressed. I wasn't nervous. I wasn't any of those things. Gordon and all the other hosts would come out and talk. And then, you know, I was really confident and very happy with my dish. I had my sister and a couple of my friends were there because we were allowed to invite some of our family
How
friends.
cool is that?
So they were standing there, and then after I finished, they were eating my food, and they were like, "Oh my God, this is absolutely delicious."
If
So
you're
I was
just tuning in, Gigi's talking about her experience on Master Chef. Continue.
Yeah, so and I was eating it, I was cooking it, and I was like, oh hot damn, this is a 10 out of 10, no notes.
So was that your first dish? Like you got down to 20, then you're airing, you guys are on camera.
So that was like the first time I was cooking this dish for the judges. And my dish was the spicy salmon tostada, but the tostada was salmon skin, so it's crispy.
Okay, let's talk about that. That's amazing.
Yeah,
Like,
crispy salmon skin. So they cut out a lot of stuff from the show, obviously, because you know they have to fit in a million people. But I was basically talking about how I'm trying to make salmon skin a thing because so many people are like, ew, gross, and they want to throw it away. But it's literally the best thing on the face of the planet. It's so freaking good.
right.
I literally sit down to a meal of just salmon skin. That's how much I love it. And the judges absolutely loved my salmon skin, so that was great. But the only reason why I did not move forward is number one, you know, I'm the salmon queen and I made salmon. Like they want to know that I can cook more than just salmon. But
yeah,
number two,
it's more of a chef thing, and you're more of like just a food blogger kind of thing.
I'm not a chef. I mean, my husband.
No, I know, but that's your. I
that
mean, they must have liked the dish. I mean, you made a tostada. Okay, guys, so it's a salmon tostada. I showed a picture of it earlier, and it's instead of a piece of toast or the what is it that they use for a tostada, like the taco shellish kind of thing.
Yeah.
Instead of the flat bread that you use, the taco shell thing, she put the salmon skin and toasted that.
Yeah, and it was perfection. But the reason why really though is because I served them a raw dish, and you know that doesn't really showcase you being able to cook. I mean, they were like, dude, you can cook salmon skin until you're blue in the face perfectly, and I was like, I don't know. But you know, I served them like a poke essentially on top of the salmon skin crisp.
Right.
So, and it was more of an appetizer. It wasn't like here's a grilled steak, side dish, and sauce, and all that. But I was
liked it, right?
Yeah, they really. I mean, there was one of the judges was like, "It's a no for me, like hardcore," and I was like, "Okay, well, whatever. I'll eat yours." But otherwise, everyone else really liked it. I got in order to go through, you have to have 3 yeses or whatever.
Yeah.
Obviously, I didn't have 3 yeses, but I mean, I knew Gordon and Susan. Susan Feniger. She was the guest judge for me. I know that they both liked it because they were complimenting it and stuff, but they actually didn't even say yes or no. They just were like, let the other people talk. I don't know. It was weird. It was a weird edit. But overall, it was a really interesting experience. I met amazing people. Not one person did I meet who was not great. Like they're all phenomenal people. And still friends. We still continually talk, and I follow them, and I'm super jazzed for them too. And I mean, it was a really cool experience. I would do it again, but at the same time, I don't feel like I'm a chef. And with all of my food allergies and stuff like that, like if I got into the top 20, I probably would have been kicked off one of the first 2 episodes, if not 3. Because I watched the show and I saw the challenges, and there was like a recreate this cake challenge. And I'm like,
right?
Recreate.
It's hard to be on that show.
I mean, there was 7,500 applicants, and I made it to the top 40 and then the top 10 in my region. So
okay, I'm not sure if this is going to work, but do you see on your screen?
Yeah.
You guys, I have Gigi's Instagram, so I don't know if the sound will work, you guys. I'm doing StreamYard for the first time, but if it doesn't work, it's okay. But I'm going to see if it works. Let's see. Hold on.
I eat salmon every single day, and the dish I'm making is a spicy salmon tostada. The tostada shell is actually salmon skin, and it is going to blow the judges' minds because it blows my mind.
It blows mine.
Come on, Miss Salmon Queen!
Hello, welcome.
Hi, I am Gigi, also known as the Salmon Queen.
You're the salmon queen.
Oh yeah, I eat 8 to 10 pounds of salmon a week.
8 to 10 pounds a week. That's a whole freaking salmon a week.
Oh yeah.
What?
I don't have my glasses. What does that say?
It says salmon. I have a tattoo in my mouth that says salmon.
Why did you do that?
Because I always have salmon in my mouth.
What? Give us an insight to the dish.
I made some spicy salmon tostadas.
Oh,
But the best
beautiful.
part is the tostada shell is actually crispy salmon skin. I
All right,
eat
that's
salmon.
it. That's the little clip that we have. And yes, it worked. Thank God. Good job, Gigi.
I thank you. Yeah, I wasn't nervous at all, as I said. And like so many people were crying and all this stuff. And I was like, I don't know why you're crying. This is fun to me. Like this is not a make or break it situation for me. This is me basically doing a check mark in terms of the things that I want to accomplish in my life. And I got to feed Gordon Ramsay and I got to talk to him, and he follows me on social media. He followed me like a couple of months prior to Master Chef reaching out to me. So I feel like there was some sort of connection there. And, you know, he responds to the DMs. Granted, it's probably his people. But, you know, I still feel special. I'm like, all right, Gordon still follows me. I clearly didn't poison him. We're good.
He truly is a master of all chefs. Like, I watch his recipes. I follow them sometimes, and I make some of the stuff. Like, I don't know. He had a thing on like making like scrambled eggs, and I did what he said, and it came out so good. And he just is so good at the stove. You know, he's just like the way he moves and everything. He's literally just. We're doing this whole thing in my program right now about leaning on your gifts and leaning on your talent. Gigi is an amazing writer as well. When you have multiple talents, it's really hard to focus on one. So when you watch Gordon Ramsay, it's like, just watch a video of his when he's cooking on that stove. He just knows how to move. It's just, he's amazing.
Yeah, he knows how to work the oven.
Yes, yes. Well, let's go back to your books. Your books, Seduced by Salmon. You just released it this year, right? Or
Yeah,
was
I
it
released
last
it
year?
in February. So when I came back from Master Chef, I had written it in 2021 when I was pregnant with my second child, but I was looking for a publisher for like a year, and I got a literary agent, but my literary agent was not anything spectacular. So that nothing came to fruition in that regard because the book is so niche. You know, it's focused on salmon. It's all about the health benefits of salmon. There's a whole bunch of research in there. And then there's 69 recipes. And then there's a bunch of helpful tips and hints and tricks and whatever as to how to cook salmon perfectly every single time. So it's like 3 parts. But a lot of publishing companies were like, ooh, you know, maybe if it was like a book about fish in general, okay. But the fact that it's just salmon specific, that's a little too niche for our market.
Right.
And I was like, dude, people want this freaking book. So
Yeah.
I went to sell.
Well, I love that you stuck to your guns and focused on your main gift, which is you just know salmon so well. It's like when you can study one thing, when you can really hone your skill into one area and you put all of your energy there and you don't allow people to go, no, do like all different kind of, like you really knew that, no, this is my ace in the hole. I didn't get your last book, which I need to get that too, is your, she does keto. So it sounds like you're having a decent experience with self-publishing.
Yeah, I mean, self-publishing was kind of tricky because you're in charge of the design of the book. You also have to make sure that it is the specific dimensions for a Kindle book and then a printed copy. So there's two different sides of that. And if you are not technologically savvy and you don't have InDesign and all of these other applications on your computer, you're kind of screwed. Or you need to hire someone to do it for you. Because there's no way otherwise. Like you could try doing it in Canva, but good luck.
That's what you experience as an independent publisher. Like you know, the publisher does all that for you, or does it? They helped you get this. This is a beautiful cover. I have to say, this cover is beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing with that book. So this company reached out to me. I think it was in 20.
Oh, they reached out to you, a publishing company?
Yes. So this is an interesting publishing company. They reached out to me in 2018. I was pregnant with my first kid. I swear I write books when I'm pregnant, and now I'm no longer going to get pregnant. So no more books are coming.
Gigi has 2 babies. How old are they?
2 and almost 5.
2 and 5.
Yeah. So
that was in the 5-year-old. You had the 5-year-old in the belly.
Yes. I was writing this book when the 5-year-old came along. I only had 3 months to write this book. And I was writing this book right up until I went into the delivery room, and then I was finished writing it right after he was born. I was literally like a pump for my boobs, and I was typing as I was doing it. But this book was interesting because they came at me and they said, we have this topic. We want you to write this because we know that you live a ketogenic lifestyle. Because at that time I lived a ketogenic lifestyle. Now I live more a carnivore lifestyle. And they wanted 116 recipes. And they wanted, 10 in the fish world, 10 in the chicken world, 10 in the pork world, that sort of thing.
So you did a few, because you do recipes, like I know you. And we're going to go into the story of how you got into that and why. But guys, get Seduced by Salmon, get She Does Keto. They're both available on Amazon, right?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
I'm particularly more fond of my self-published book because I feel like it's all me. Whereas the other one, they sort of had me reel in some of my personality. And granted, I'm not spewing out the F word in Seduced by Salmon or anything like that, but I'm pretty sure there's some sexual innuendos in Seduced by Salmon that like the publishing company would have been like, let's not do that. And that didn't feel right to me. So when I had to edit.
They're doing it more like you're going to do an Oprah show. It has to be like legit for everybody.
Exactly.
But I love that this is Seduced by Salmon. It's written with your kind of like Irma Bombeck, very tongue-in-cheek, very funny, because Gigi's very funny and totally off the wall. If you ever follow her, if you follow on her blog, the writing is, and she's such a good writer, so she's able to take license with like just creating just off the wall kind of funny commentary on her own life as a mom, but also as a foodie. And let's get so before I continue, everybody who's watching, if you want to ask questions, please put them in the comments. I'm on StreamYard, so I'm able to see your comments and your questions. So ask them while we're speaking. So then maybe I can just see a question and ask Gigi a question about self-publishing, about being a YouTuber, because she started as a YouTuber and was pretty successful. That's where we got a lot of the sponsorships and the production deals. And then she moved on. I mean, and she was always a blogger, always a writer. So the YouTube just kind of blew her stuff up. But now I understand that you're really more on Instagram because it's easier and it's shorter. And I want to tell my clients that because we're moving into this, self-promotion world where it's like people are like, exhausted over the platforms. What Gigi did, she was doing a lot of YouTube shows, an episode a week, and then switched a little bit to more like, not switched a little bit, switched definitely to Instagram, because you can do reels, because reels came out like 5 years ago or something like that. And then you could do reels. It was almost like you could have your reel and your writing, which is like the best platform for you because you're a writer and you're a foodie. And actually the clips, how long are your clips? Do you do clips on Instagram, or have you been also distracted with the kids because she has babies?
No, I do Instagram reels. I like doing photos more than anything else because I personally don't really watch reels. I look at photos. So I post more photos purely because that's kind of what I like, but I love love creating recipe reels. When I get in the kitchen and I'm filming and I'm creating, it's my happy place. I get so insanely happy and excited. And then editing videos is probably my favorite thing to do on the face of this planet.
That's amazing because everybody hates that. So many people hate
I don't know
that.
what I think it makes my brain work, and then I do all these transitions, and I'm like chopping it up, and it flows, and it's just aesthetically pleasing, and it just I love it so much.
I saw a video of yours where the recipe was like quick with music, and it's just like quick, like it was like a short, and it was so good. And I was like, oh, those are good. Those are good ones. Those are going to do well.
Yeah, those are my favorite things to do. And then it just shows my creativity because I like to create outside of the box salmon recipes. Granted, I can cook anything, but I focus on salmon because I eat all of my recipes and all I want to do is eat salmon. So after I'm finished cooking, I'm just eating it because I hate food waste. But I've done like salmon cinnamon buns. I've done salmon garlic knots. I've done salmon waffles. I do a whole bunch of really weird things, but they actually.
And I know you did even salmon ice cream.
Yeah, that was probably one of the nasty ones. Not gonna lie. I don't know what I was thinking there, but at the same time, you gotta try. You just never know.
You never know.
Because like I did salmon, pumpkin spice salmon, and it's so good.
Really? Wait a minute. So what is in pumpkin spice salmon? Tell us the ingredients.
You could honestly just go to the store and get the pumpkin spice seasoning and just put it on your salmon. But I like to make it from scratch. So there's cinnamon, there's cloves, there's ginger, there's nutmeg. And then I put a little tiny bit of black pepper and a little bit of salt. Well, I also salt all my food. Right. And then honestly, if you serve it with like pureed pumpkin, it's a good time. It's a very good time.
Wow, that sounds so delicious and sounds like a good like holiday kind of thing to serve.
Yeah, and a lot of people think, oh, that sounds disgusting. But if you think about it, a lot of people make like maple glazed salmon or whatever it is, and that's kind of weird in my mind. I'm like, you're putting sugar all over your salmon. Do you realize that, right? Whereas this is just seasonings because I do not add sugar to anything. I am a sugar-free person. And honestly, just try cinnamon on your salmon, and I promise you're going to have a mouthgasm.
It sounds amazing, honestly. So let's talk about how you got to the point of becoming a foodie. There was a catalyst, a time in your life where something happened to you medically, like health-wise. Tell us a little bit about that.
When I was 14, I was diagnosed with a whole bunch of food allergies, intolerances, and autoimmune diseases. So I have ulcerative colitis. I have IBS. I feel like the entire world has IBS at this point. I have celiac and I have Crohn's. And I was diagnosed way when I was 14. And back then, no one knew what any of this stuff was. So I started, cutting out foods, whatever. So I started,
like when you have these kind of issues, and you're a foodie, you have to cut out all these foods. So it's very traumatic in the beginning. So I
feel like I became more of a foodie when this started to
happen. Oh, got it.
I grew up with a father who loves to cook, so I was always cooking with him in the kitchen.
That's
My
awesome.
mom is a doctor, so she was very interested in food and how it affects the body all the time. Right. So it was really like if this was going to happen to anyone, I'm kind of glad it happened to me because number one, I knew how to cook, and number two, my mom, who's very nutrition conscious, was instilling information in me that I had never really known. My mom had lived a ketogenic lifestyle for my entire life, so she basically taught me about the ketogenic lifestyle. So I've been living this way, although as I said, I'm more carnivore lifestyle now, which means basically just all animal protein or like all animals. That's like all I eat.
Right. You're the one actually I almost was going to become a vegan, not vegan. I would never become vegan. I couldn't do that. I love dairy too much. But I was thinking about vegetarianism and then I said, no, I'm like, I don't know with the meat, like Idalis, no, just eat farm raised meat, like just farm fresh meat, like just make sure your meat is like clean and it'll be fine. You can mix it in your diet. It has great sources of protein. And I'm like, I listened to you. And then you got me for my birthday. You got me this whole set of like vitamins and supplements
Yes, I
that
remember.
were so important to like a woman's health. Like you knew exactly what to get me. And that's what you got me for my birthday. It was so awesome.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I like to give people useful things.
no, yes. But, and you're such a nutritionist in a way. You really are. She has a master's in nutrition. Your mom made you get that. I remember
Yes,
that.
she did.
I think
You were around when I was doing that, and I was not happy about it.
No, I know, but I'm glad you did it. I'm really glad you did because it looks very nice on the bio, like masters in nutrition.
I agree. I do agree.
And you know, I love that you talk about which I didn't put I'm not sure if I didn't put that slide up. I wanted to, because there was a slide up, and then when I Googled you, it was farm raised salmon. Can you talk about the difference between farm raised salmon and?
Yeah, I mean, I talk all about this in my book, but
Okay.
I obviously I can touch upon it right now. So back in the day, farm raised salmon, it started in like the 50s and 60s. There was no regulations whatsoever. So the salmon could eat whatever the hell it wanted. You know, other fish could be caught in the nets and die and no one really cared or whatever, but it got a really bad reputation. Nowadays, farm raised salmon is highly regulated, and the companies that are raising this salmon, they want clientele, if you will. So they're doing humane things in order to make sure that the salmon is healthy and the wildlife surrounding it is not being harmed in any way. They feed it things to increase its omega-3 fatty acid properties, the healthy fats in fish that are really encouraged for all of us to eat.
Okay, so farm raised back in the day got a little bit of a ban, and so everybody started buying wild. Got it.
Exactly, and everyone was all obsessed with wild being the healthiest thing on the face of the planet.
Yeah, but meanwhile, we need to actually go back to farm.
I mean, yeah, at this point, wild caught salmon is so expensive, yet people think they need to buy it.
Right.
That it's like it's making people fucking poor, to be honest. Like
Right.
wild salmon can be anywhere from $25 a pound to like $45 a pound, and you're like, excuse me, but farm raised salmon can be anywhere from $7 to $12.99 a pound, which I mean still could be expensive for some people.
Absolutely.
But
everybody knows when you buy salmon, it's going to be a treat.
Exactly.
I buy it on sale.
Yeah, exactly. So nowadays, I'm not going to say 100% of farm raised salmon is amazing. There's definitely maybe 90% of the companies out there are amazing. There's 10% that are most likely still using crappy practices that just don't align with, you know, the standards that you should look for in your salmon. But at the end of the day, I truly love, cherish, appreciate farm raised salmon, the companies that I purchase from specifically. Like I buy my salmon from Whole Foods or I buy it online. I know people are like, oh my God.
Yeah, where would we buy it? So like Whole Foods in LA.
Yeah, so Whole Foods, their suppliers are Blue Circle and Quarry Arctic, and those two salmon companies are the creme de la creme. They're my favorite. Highly recommend. Now, a lot of people are like, oh gosh, whole pig check, whatever. But it's really not as expensive as I said, the wild caught salmon. That's $25 at minimum a pound.
Right.
Otherwise, you know, if you go to Trader Joe's, I think they sell their salmon. I don't have a Trader Joe's around me anymore. But when the last time I was there, I think it was $9.99 a pound. And that salmon is absolutely okay. Flavor, taste wise, I prefer Whole Foods, but Trader Joe's is a good option as well. Some people really like Publix salmon. I've had it before, and I've also, you know, researched and stuff. And while it's fine, again, the flavor just is not quite up to snuff as the Whole Foods salmon.
So
I buy things online. I buy my salmon online. I like it being shipped right to my door.
Oh, okay. You buy it online. Good to know.
Yeah. I have a whole bunch. I have a whole section in Seduced by Salmon listing the companies that I truly trust, believe in, and purchase from myself in regards to salmon.
That's great. I'm gonna have to watch this back just to like get all the salmon information, guys. Like make sure you clip this to she's the salmon queen, aka the salmon queen. You should listen to her.
Excuse me.
Okay, Gigi. So you did YouTube, and then you're doing Instagram. What have you seen the social media market change in the last few years? What do you think of AI? What do you think of where everything's going? And then we're gonna play a word game.
I hate where social media is going, to be completely honest. I am not a fan of AI. I'm a writer. I'm a creator. And AI is taking away our creativity and people are like, oh, well, I can just get a robot to do that, so I don't need you. So
no, but Gigi, you know where it's going? I feel like it's because I've been using AI recently, and it's just like it's being rejected by a lot of people because it's almost, you can tell it's been written by AI. So what's happening is like you almost need a writer to be able to decipher all that crazy generic information and to put a personality on it. And it's really, honestly, I feel like you need writers more even now.
Yeah, I've played with it once because my husband was like, let's ask it to do something funny. So I did. And then I was reading it and I was like, I hate this. I hate this so much. It's just weird. And then everyone puts a filter on themselves. I'm like, where is just normal people anymore? You don't find them anywhere. And that's the other thing with social media is everyone's filtered. Everyone is pretending to be something they're not, which is why when people follow me and or talk to me, they're like, oh my God, a breath of fresh air. Like you're actually being honest about not liking being a mom or your food tasting like crap or whatever it is. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm human and I have self-confidence. And I know even though, I don't like this aspect or this aspect of my life right this very second, I'm still A-okay. Like, we're fine.
Remind me of the show Desperate Housewives. There was
oh my God, I was rewatching that. I was rewatching that the other day.
Mom was there with the twins, and she would just be like, "What the fuck?"
Oh my God, I was literally watching that. I was like, I'm Lynette. I am.
You are her. Is that her name? Her character
name is Lynette Bravo, because I literally was watching it like 2 days ago. I'm like, let's see what this show's about again.
Gigi has babies, so her schedule is so crazy. Plus, your book Seduced by Salmon being released, and your husband being an actor, producer, and all that stuff. What did you just say?
He's all over the place.
He's all over the place. There's a lot going on in the Ashworth household.
Yes, honestly, there's never a dull moment. I thank God I have a nanny right now because I'm like, if she wasn't here, the kids would be right back here. They would be doing God knows what. Someone would be sitting on my lap screaming, mommy, mommy, mommy. And then they'd be like, oh, I pooped my pants. And I'm like, okay.
All right. Well, so we got 3 minutes left. I'm going to do a little bit of a word game with Gigi here. We don't want the nanny to leave and leave you alone. So the kids will start crawling up your leg. Here's a word game. I want you to tell me the first thing you think of. It could be a phrase. You can say something more about it. It doesn't have to be one word. Just something that comes to mind. You filter it through your heart. Here we go. Gordon Ramsay.
Oh, Hexclad pans.
What?
He promotes this brand called Hexclad. They're like the best pans on the face of the planet. So that's the first thing that came to my mind.
I'm gonna look into that.
Oh my God, they're amazing.
What did you say?
They're amazing. I just used it earlier because they sent me some, and I was like, "Oh God, best thing."
Are they like cooking pans?
Yes.
Awesome. So you can get all stuff on it, like a built-in apron.
Yeah, yeah, they're amazing.
Okay. Trending diets.
Carnivore.
Wow.
I see that everywhere.
Favorite social media platform.
Instagram.
Writing and creating videos.
My husband.
Favorite Instagram person. You.
Yeah. I was about to say me, obviously.
You have a favorite YouTube person?
No, I don't watch YouTube.
TikTok.
No, I don't like TikTok either.
Favorite foods.
Salmon and butter lettuce.
Favorite child.
Gunner, my younger one.
Oh, I can't believe you picked one.
He's little G-Rex because I wanted to name him T-Rex really bad, but I was not allowed to. So G-Rex is his name.
You wanted to name him T-Rex. That's funny.
Yeah, really badly.
See, you keep it real. Like parents always have a favorite, I know, and they don't even like really admit that.
Oh no, I have this weird attachment to my younger one. I gave birth to him in the car, and I didn't have drugs and stuff, and I feel like that was like this weird connection I have with him. I'm like, yeah.
I think the favorite tends to be the younger one because they just remember that that's the last one they had. It's the younger, the baby.
He's just calmer. That's why I like him.
He's just a creative genius, your older one. So,
Okay.
So Gigi, you started at E-News. We're finished here, but you started at E-News. That's it's when I met you that you were working at E-News and stuff. I didn't say E-News, but if I said E-News, what would you say about that?
I don't think
there's nothing to say.
I don't think I should say the thing that comes to mind when I think of E-News.
No, yeah, let's forget about it.
I feel like you know what I'm thinking, honestly.
But you went on your own. Like, I feel like, remember with E-News, where it was like more like, I was so happy that you were at E-News because it was like placing clients and it was such a strength to be from E-News. But then that really dissipated to like being an independent blogger and YouTuber. So I'm glad we chose YouTube, and I'm glad we ended up doing Gigi Eats Celebrities, which turned into What Gigi Eats and turned into Seduced by Salmon, and she does keto and all that stuff. Definitely get her books. They're both available on. Let's do this last thing on Seduced by Salmon. But check out Seduced by Salmon. It's 69 recipes. Very sexy number for the recipes. And what's your favorite recipe? We'll end it with that.
Well, I mean, honestly, it's this crispy salmon tostada.
Yes.
But otherwise, there's a million. However, there's this crab. So it's salmon sashimi with this crab salad on top, and oh my god!
Oh, so you like that one too? The salmon sashimi with what on top? Crab?
Crab, yeah. It's. I mean, to be honest, if the recipe is in the book, I'm a huge fan. I would.
What's the trick to getting the bottom part toasty? Is it separate? I mean, do you separate it from the salmon or?
Yeah, I literally cut the salmon skin off of the salmon and then I crisp it up on a pan, or you can put it in the air fryer, but Master Chef didn't have an air fryer. So I either do the pan or air fryer. It just changes every day depending on my hunger level, because pan frying takes less time than air frying. And sometimes I'm real freaking hungry and I want to eat right now. So this is pan fried.
Well, my mouth is watering. I can't even wait to make that now. Like, I'm going to get the book, make that dish, and call you as soon as I finish making it. Gigi, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
All right, guys, make sure you get her book. It's called Seduced by Salmon. It's on Amazon, available right now. And also, you can go to Gigi's website as well. She is available for consultations and she has programs. And I saw that you had on your website, maybe you're going to do maybe a membership soon, some kind of club.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. So I'm not entirely sure yet because I have a hard time charging people for stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of like, I don't know.
Work on your money stuff. But and it's also, be careful with memberships also, because it's still, you got to constantly, it's work.
That's the other thing. It's like
content for
my
them.
life is so busy right now
that
would be just a whole other aspect. And I'm like, I don't know if I have time for that right now. So,
all right. Well, thank you. Gigi's my former client. I'm so happy she did this. Can't wait to get the book, and we'll see you guys soon. Thank you for tuning in. I didn't get any questions. Maybe we'll get some next time. But thank you, Gigi. Love you. Big love and hugs to your family for me, okay?
I will.
Okay, bye, everybody.